Greetings from Seattle, Washington, in the heart of Cascadia. I'm Jason Regden, and you are listening to the Podcast of Mystery, the show that always leaves you with more questions than answers. The podcast where I talk with extraordinary guests about the paranormal, the strange, and the unknown. On this episode, we get a sneak peek into the shadowy and highly profitable world of fake paranormal videos. My guest is the man I believe to be the real Noah the Time Traveler. You may remember Noah as a time traveler with cell phone video of a far future Las Vegas. He was presented by YouTube channel ApexTV as an actual time traveler. They went so far as to actually show a video of him allegedly taking a polygraph test. The videos of Noah the Time Traveler got millions of views. Even the reaction videos got millions of views. Noah was kind of a viral sensation, helping ApexTV earn over 1 million subs on their YouTube channel. His time travel story was reported in the media all over the world. Noah's story is still pushed by some individuals in the paranormal community to this day. The only problem, of course, is the whole thing was a complete hoax. My guest on this episode is Denis Bel, aka Noah the Time Traveler. If you know about Noah's story, you'll know there are several people out there claiming to be him. So, you might be wondering how I know Denis is the real Noah. Well, the original videos of Noah the Time Traveler from ApexTV show him with a pixelated face. In Denis's video, admitting to the hoax, he showed the unedited version of those videos with his face clearly visible. And that was enough for me to be convinced that this was the real Noah. In the interest of fairness, I'd like to invite ApexTV on the show to defend themselves. I'd like to ask a few questions. I'm sure my audience has a few questions too. I'm sure if your channel is what you claim it to be, you'll have no problem answering those questions. Before we get to Noah's story, I'd like to ask you to leave the Podcast of Mystery a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show. I am not a celebrity. I don't have a podcast network behind me. It's just me and a microphone. In order for this unique show to grow, I need your help, and this is a great way to do that. It's quick, easy, and free. It helps me see people really care about this show. It helps new listeners discover the show, and it shows potential future guests that I really do have an audience of engaged listeners. So please consider leaving the Podcast of Mystery a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Hi, my name is Denis, and the first thing I could say is I basically broke the internet in a way. I was one of the biggest time travelers on the internet, millions of views across multiple platforms. You know, if you look online, you can find some Russian videos of mine that were like 10 million views. And then you'll see one in Australia, 5 million views. You'll see one in like Great Britain, and there'll be like another 5 million views. Like I literally broke the internet. I was on every news cover and everything. And there's a huge story on why all this happened. And in this podcast, I guess we're going to be talking about it, aren't we? I've covered it briefly on my YouTube channel, but I haven't. There's so much to unpack that I've never really gotten into. I've been offered like multiple podcasts before, and this is actually like my first podcast I've ever been on. So I'm really excited to like get into like a bunch of things.
Well, thank you so much for taking a chance to come on the Podcast of Mystery. So would you give our listeners maybe just a brief introduction to this little adventure? And I have to say, yes, I can totally verify that this was like an internet phenomenon. Like there were, like you said, millions of views and people, just tons and tons. Even still, you look, tons of people making like response videos and, reaction videos. And, that's a whole new level of like viral phenomenon, right? Where people are making content based on your story.
So I'll give an introduction. So my name's Denis, but you might know me as Noah the Time Traveler. And like a long time ago, back in 2018 through 2020, I basically pretended to be a time traveler on the internet, and it went extremely viral. And like I was one of the biggest time travelers on the internet, and my character that I played still goes on to this day. And I basically, for like the longest time, convinced a lot of people, like the news, all these conspiracy theory channels, all these like commentators that were watching the videos that I was either serious or that I was actually real. And I actually made several real predictions, and which were all, like, let's be honest, coincidences. Like, I was just using educated guesses, and then I actually started like predicting stuff, and people were like, "Wow, this guy actually might be like the real thing." And and so I how this all began was me and this one channel, Apex TV. It was a lot smaller back in the day. Uh, me and him actually met, and I was at the time a YouTuber with like very very small following, and I loved doing content, and I saw, like, when I met Apex TV, I saw it as a way to actually like work with a big channel, because I believe he was at 100K subscribers at the time. But I saw it as like a way I could work with this huge channel and, gain some experience. So we put out this first video, like this Noah the Time Traveler video. It was in my room. I was sitting on this chair and everything. And I was 14 at the time, literally 14. And we blurred my face and we pretended like I was 21. I don't know how that like happened, how we were able to convince the internet that I was 21. Like, even though I was so obvious, I looked like I was like very frail and everything, built like a 14-year-old. And then so I went to sleep that night, and when I woke up in the morning, it was like 300,000 views, and I was like, wow, this is like the most views I've ever seen on anything. I went through school that day. I was like showing my friends that kept going up and up. It like went up to 1 million views that day, and then eventually like 1.8 million like the next day. And it was like it was insane. And we realized like this was really profitable to pretend to be a time traveler on the internet.
And I have to ask, there are a number of people who seem to claim that they are the real Noah. How do we know that you are the real Noah, the time traveler?
Man, dude, this this rabbit hole gets really really deep. So I'll get into it later, where like the falling out between me and Apex TV. But as soon as like I revealed everything, I showed the footage of me unblurred in the video, and I thought that would be enough like proof. I was also considering like visiting the places where I made the Noah videos, because I know all like a handful of them where they were actually filmed, and I could just like show up and just like stand right in front of them. And all these people pretending to be Noah and don't necessarily even have any proof. And it's like the Jason on Apex TV was almost kind of like a distraction, because Jason's story was a lot more like, oh, I fooled Apex TV. But like me, I was giving the hard truth, and I was telling them that Apex TV was in on it. So like obviously the owner of Apex TV didn't like want that like image for his brand. And what I'm saying right now, I'm not leaking anything. This is all public information. Like, people have already put the pieces together, like other commentators. So like all I'm saying is I'm just saying what's already publicly out there, and what people have already like been able to investigate easily.
So we've kind of established, I will say, I 100% believe that you are well, I want to say you are the Noah time traveler. You played Noah, the time traveler. Would you call it a character you played?
Yeah, I did feel like it was a character, but like it's strange because I relate to like Heath Ledger played Joker, where he played it so well that he felt like he was Joker in a way. Like I know I'm not as talented as Heath Ledger, but the way I played Noah, I would play him. I would get so into the character that I would actually be like, I would start to believe that I was Noah at some points, and I would start to believe my name is Noah. And it's kind of like a type of like actors like it's like a typical actor's like psychology phenomenon. And I definitely got like really scared and started getting really stressed out, because it was scary. It wasn't like it didn't feel like me. It felt like I was like pretending to be. It felt like I was starting to become someone else.
Interesting. Yeah. So you did that first video, and was it popular right away? You were saying about the hundreds of thousands of views.
Oh yeah, the first video went extremely popular, but then we dropped another video right after that, and it just like it was like kind of like a roller coaster effect. It just kept going up and up and up, and I guess it would, some videos would dip down, but like generally the amount of like views a video would get would be like insane. Like they'll just keep going up. The next video, what we did is we made this like makeshift like lie detector, and we put off camera, and then we plugged it onto like my fingers and everything, pretended like we were telling me like true asking questions, and then we were pretending like if they were like true or false on the detector. The wires literally led to nothing, but we did that in like a library, literally my public library, and we shot that. And then it was finished. We photoshopped like a microchip in my wrist on a picture like we found online or something. I don't quite remember, but so we did something like that, and then what ended up happening was that video went out and like got like 4.8 million views on the channel alone. That's not counting the Facebook views. The Facebook views went crazy, like 10 million. That's not counting like the news covering it internationally everywhere. And then not to forget like Snapchat, it's like the swipeable Snapchat news covered it. My sister was listening to the radio station from our state, and she literally heard them talking about like Noah the time traveler, and she was like freaking out and sending me videos. Like my mom said that like people at her church and stuff, like they're Russians, and they were like hearing it on like the Russian radio where they're like talking about Noah the time traveler. So like the effect of that second video like really launched it. And the first video, when the first video came out, where it was only a little bit viral, almost 1.9 million views, I was like telling my closest friends like, yo, keep this a secret. But then once the second video like went crazy, my friends just couldn't hold it, and then they told everyone in my school, and then soon like everyone in my school like knew about this like dude, this like freshman kid is like faking being a time traveler on the internet.
So what were you talking about that captured people's imagination so tightly?
I think I did a very good job at like I've always like followed like a few things. I always wanted to say outrageous predictions that like that would like kind of like cause like a comments interaction, such as the microchips. Like every time that's sprung up, everyone wants to talk about that. I knew that was a good one. I would I would say stuff like I would say, I don't quite remember all the things. I did say Yolanda Renee King would be the president in the future, which is Martin Luther King Jr.'s granddaughter. And, like that like for people that believe that, it's like, they think that's like super surprising. And then they get behind it, and I'm just like, I was just like trying to find things that would, be like headline to culture, like, or would people would like love to talk about in the comments and everything, and then as well as I loved the people who were super critical arguing with the people who like straight up unbelieved in the comments, because all it did was just get more people talking about it, more people talking about it. So, someone would be at their work, they're like, have you seen this time traveler on the internet, like talking about like the future or something? And then like they'll be like, oh no, that's BS. And then they're like, no, I think it's real. It's like that's how like I guess Know the Time Traveler like spread like word of mouth too.
So when you were doing these, were you reading scripts, or was this more like bullet points, or were you just totally in character and off the cuff?
At first I did like a script, then I moved to bullet points, and then I eventually like I was just able to like just do it like just like that. I mean, we did like 2-hour, 3-hour long streams where we're like just answering questions, and I just like like that really messed me up in a way, because I would get so deep into the character and I wouldn't even have to like think about it. I was just saying it, like it was just coming out of my mouth, and I was just like I had a scientific explanation for everything already, and I would just like and in any question I didn't know, it took me like 10 seconds. I would search on my computer real quick quietly while like, I would stall with some random, like, I'd be like, yeah, in the future there actually is. And I'll be like searching it up, and then like any scientific things I needed to know. And, generally then I would answer the question back, and then like the chat would go wild. Like, oh my God, that's a crazy prediction, And, yeah.
So, it's a big difference between making those videos and doing the live stream. How did that feel that first time doing the live stream, like being on stage?
The live streams were very, very stressful. The big thing about it is like, say like I do live in a crowded household, and I was wondering like, what if I'm like everyone in my house knew to be quiet when I was streaming, but I was like, what if something happens? What if it's like really loud? There's always like the weird things. There's one time like my dad walked in, and I literally said dad, and I'm so glad not a single person caught that. Like not a single person had caught
Wow.
that at the time. I was so glad. I guess I mumbled it. I was like, because I was telling I was like trying to like motion him to like leave, and definitely it was really hard. It eventually got easier and easier. Like I said, like we would do these like every Friday and everything, and it was just like, and then like a lot of these questions became a blur because it was just like the same question over and over again. People would say, "Is Bitcoin going up?" I bet I'd make an educated guess and be like, "Yeah, Bitcoin's going to be like the currency of the future," and then like I would just like make these outrageous, but yeah, like one's based in like fact, and that's kind of how I predicted some things. Like I predicted Stephen Hawking's death because he had ASL or AC. I forget the exact abbreviation, but I predicted his death. I also predicted Stan Lee's death because he was getting pretty old. And like I made a lot of false predictions, but like the true predictions shined way more than the false predictions, and it really did. Like once those like started becoming true and like people started seeing that I was like saying actual real predictions, they really started going crazy.
And did your family know what was going on, that you were doing
Oh
this?
yeah, so we generally got like a good chunk of ad revenue from YouTube. So I was getting paid a lot better than like anyone my age, 14, 15, My mom was like completely okay with it. She's like, you're making some decent money off it. I'm completely okay with it. Our cousins are like telling us how they keep seeing you on like the TV or something and they find it hilarious. Like my aunt, like at Thanksgiving, my aunts, uncles would come over, they'll be like, "Oh, look, it's a time traveler." They'll make fun of me a little bit, but like yeah, and I'm so surprised that like my inner like in my life there was like so many people who knew about it, but like on the internet it was like a wasteland where people had no idea who this time traveler was, and everyone was like struggling to find out who I really was. And you get like when I would start exploring at like 14 or 15 on like Discord and everything, like looking through our servers, like looking through like servers associated with us, and I would see like people would like be like putting things together, like, okay, so this is where they filmed. You can tell that the trees are from like the Midwest or something, and they'll be like, you can tell that he's probably he might be younger, he might be in a school in this area. We got to check those, like people be going full investigative mode, and I would be like so scared of that. And then eventually like you would get death threats, and it wasn't like those typical Discord death threats that are like, I'm going to kill you, like from like some 14-year-old. It'd be like straight up like, we're going to find you, I'm working like with all these people, and we're going to find you, and we're going to, like, we're literally going to make you pay for like lying or something, and like obviously like why would I want to like come out as like a fake time traveler when like I have like severe death threats on my head, like it took me a while to come to terms that like I could probably like I'd be safe revealing my set, like putting a name to my like no the time traveler, like Denis Bel, because for like the longest time, like as soon as I reveal it's me, Denis Bel, they'll like start trying to track me down. They'll visit my house, like these people sounded like legit crazy, like some people who were like actually like super invested into finding out who I was.
Well, I noticed even now, doing some research, that people seem to insist that Noah the Time Traveler was real,
Oh yeah.
even now.
And yeah, I just don't understand that, because like I revealed like the official footage. I revealed footage that hasn't been shown from like the behind the scenes and everything, where you can hear like the camera like shaking and stuff. And he's like, cut. He's like, okay, that's perfect. He's like, should we put some like sad music over here? Or you see me like, like frames that you haven't seen from like the original videos. And I had like a lot more, I had a lot more things to share. The thing is like, it's almost overkill, because what I'm doing was I was revealing that I'm the time traveler, and the more stuff that I revealed would kind of like ruin Apex TV's brand. And like I like like bless him, I don't really want to do anything like that negative to him. But like my initial video, we did have like a really big like falling out, and there was lots of like legal trouble around it that I was not able to talk about, and it was like the worst.
So after you made your video, because you were kind of jumping way ahead, but I kind of want to get into this. Like, so you, on your channel, you made a video kind of explaining everything and even showing, like you said, clips. Basically, in the original videos, your voice was changed and you were kind of blurred out, and you actually have videos without the unaltered ones.
Oh yeah. And so the argument, so that when I posted that video, it got strike down by Apex TV, and I was getting trying to get it reinstated. While I was getting it reinstated, he actually sent me a cease and desist, and I'm comfortable talking about it right now because I've went through the process of talking with like lawyers and stuff about it. And my case like is so strong, and he would, if he pursued a lawsuit, he would just have to like waste his time and then pay my attorney fees at the end of the day. Because really my case is so strong because I had like the Sony Vegas editing file saved where it showed me editing like the videos myself, and so like like his point was that I stole the footage from him, in a way, or it was his like channel's property. Well, I'm like, I was the one who edited the video and it's on my computer, so like I never stole anything. I had them the whole time, and and as well as like I just had so much, like I had so much stuff. Like I went back and I just started to like finding all these things that I like the lawyer I talked to, he, with old evidence I have, he literally recommended I sue him myself at the how much point, like how much stuff I had against him with like even like the biggest one when he made the fake Noah like reveal that he's Jason or whatever. I had such a strong case to like debunk that that's not really me, and it's textbook slander because in the video he would say, like, I'm the real Noah, I'm the real Noah, and that and like at the end he was like, there was like some, and it actually kind of makes me mad, there was like some homophobic remarks where he was saying like, he was like saying, oh, I was the reason why I pretended to be Noah was because I was questioning my sexuality and everything, and obviously like that was added in to like, it was kind of like added in as like a little joke, like, or like a little thing to like basically calling, like being like a homophobic like thing, a remark against me. And I just didn't know how to react to that. And but like that right there is like textbook slander. Like that literally would hold up in court, like because you are like you are literally, I can't talk too much about all the evidence I have, but really like he was trying to pursue some legal stuff, but he had no case whatsoever. But I was still just like being careful just in case. And now I'm like, I'm fine with talking about it because I know it's all over,
And I mean, you were just a kid when you made those, and you weren't that old now, or you're not that old
Oh,
now.
yeah, exactly. And the first one I did, I was 14, and I'm turning 19 pretty soon. So it's been a long ride, I've definitely changed. I'm not the same kid I was like when I first made those videos. And everyone will like shame me, like, yo, you shouldn't have done that. You're a horrible person for lying that for that long. But I see it as like give any kid like that platform at 14, or like like a constant strew of like more money than usual for just doing like fake time travel videos, and they're funny too, like you're like able to laugh it off at the end of the day. You see like I think like 90% of anyone that my age at the time would have said, oh hell yeah, it's like obviously like now if I did it now it'd be like a little bit of an immature type of thing to do, but I was younger, I made like the stupid mistake of doing them, and I obviously like I guess I'm pretty sorry for it, but I'm not gonna sit here and like grovel at people's feet and everything. Like obviously like I was a kid, I was stupid, and I made it blow out of a proportion for like these fake time traveler videos, and they just kept going crazy. Like I still to this day have like a Japanese magazine that we got sent for free where it shows like no on it and everything.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask about that. So you're doing, you did the videos, you did the live streams, but then I saw you also were doing like interviews in the media, like actual commercial, real, quote unquote, real media.
Yeah. So I would never, we received like multiple offers to be flown out, like to be like for people to visit my house and stuff, like, I live in Minnesota. We had Minnesota based like news stations. Like, can we possibly like set up an interview with you? And I could have literally met with them in person, so what we did was we just set up like a thing where my dad's office where I would do these interviews. And there was this Australian news show clip that I got interviewed on, 5.6 million views or something. It went incredible. Like that one was the one that like everyone was seeing. And like in that like news interview, I was like talking with them, and they were actually like they begged me to be on like the TV show because like time traveler, like outrageous time traveler claims, that gets like the views, that gets what people like, wait, what? And they look at the TV, uh, they were begging me to be on the show. So when I went on the show and they started interviewing me, it was like, I believe this Australian guy and this Australian girl. I forgot where, like exactly what show this was, but immediately the Australian guy like starts being extremely rude to me. It's like, these are bogus claims and everything, and he starts like trying to like make fun of me, like. It's like, oh, you're on our show for no reason, like you and it's like, I'm like, you guys were literally the ones begging me to be on the show. And so I'm sitting here and I'm just trying to be like nice to these people while they're making fun of me. And the video gets uploaded on like the internet. And then in a way, it actually helped me because now like people see like most like anyone in like pretending to be fake in that situation would have been like, would have like fired back, would have been angry. I kind of just sat there and continued like the interview through like still being pretty nice to them. So I worked in my favor and people like started believing that even more,
And after you came out and said that the whole thing was fake, did any of these organizations come and reach out to you like as a follow-up to be like, hey, here's this guy we said was a time traveler and now we have new information?
Well, you know how like the news works. They love the headline culture. They love the, time traveler from the future, like reveals like some conspiracies or whatever. But they won't reveal like, like they won't believe, like they reveal like, oh, time traveler from the future revealed as fake. Like that's not the part that sells. The part that sells is the outrageous part. So not really. A lot of news stations, and bless their heart, like Higgy Pop was a big one. They covered like the whole situation, and I really love them for that because they were bringing like a lot more light to the situation, especially with all these like fake Noah videos coming out. Like everyone was like so confused, and I was like, come on guys, you guys literally just have to see my video. I show like evidence in my video. Like all these other fake Noah videos don't show any evidence, and people like to this day still believe Noah is real because they saw that Jason video where that Jason was pretending to be the Noah the time traveler, and it was obviously like an act, like the most BS act ever because his body type was nothing compared to Noah. My body type matches. My hands, how my hands move when I talk matches. My voice, my stutter also matches Noah, like everything. Even if you take those old Noah videos, I pitch them back to normal frequency, it sounds like a younger version of me. And my same, like, just the way I speak, everything points to me.
And so then how did these videos end? When did this character kind of run its course?
It happened when like private drama between me and the owner of Apex TV happened. There's a particular person close to Apex TV that I really, really didn't like. I honestly, I very much just a falling out happened, and I just didn't want to be associated with Apex TV anymore, considering this new person that had entered the picture. And like obviously like some old back drama. And then I for like the longest time I stayed, doing my own thing, my new channel, my old channel, people started finding out that was Noah. So with this new channel, I was just uploading my regular vlogs. All of a sudden, I started receiving comments like, "This looks like Noah the Time Traveler. This is Noah the Time Traveler." And I'm like, "Not again!" Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, delete my channel again and start like keep starting until like eventually people stop commenting. Like, I'll go through 10 channels. So at that point, I was so scared of running, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna set up the webcam and I'm gonna just talk. I'm gonna tell everything.
Okay, so it was fairly quickly between the time that you stopped doing new Noah videos to the time you did the video kind of explaining everything?
I believe it was like about 6 months before when I stopped. And I spent a long time. I spent a long time just like reflecting on myself and I really saw I really saw how good it felt to be away from that and just like mentally heal. And I was like, I felt so good, and I felt like my I was a very unique subject in the way that my decisions were all influenced by like all the stuff that I'd be getting for Noah, all this like stuff, all this like money, everything, and then once I took myself away from that and I was able to think like from a very good place, I started realizing, yeah, I probably shouldn't have kept that up. I probably should have ended it a long time before. Yeah, it wasn't very healthy, especially for my growing mind,
Yeah. Yeah. How long did that character last?
I believe 2.5 years. It went from 2018 to 2020. So no, I guess 2 years. Like around that.
And do you know how many videos you did?
Oh, probably like 35 total. And
Wow.
yeah, I know it was incredible. Lots of them to this day are like privated and everything. Like Apex TV did damage control. Like a lot of them are taken down. At the end of the day, like everything I've said about Apex TV in like this podcast is all public information. People have pieced it together. People have like, like commentators have like already talked about it. So like what I'm talking about right now, I really can't have, there's no legal trouble for me talking about this. Besides, we're pretty much good anyways. And I don't see it as like a super negative thing anyways, because the channel, if you see the Apex TV channel after this whole thing happened, after he basically did the biggest mistake ever. And in a way to discredit me, he posted that Noah is like, he posted a fake video saying Noah is fake. And Noah was the goose that laid the golden egg. Noah was like the character that the Apex TV relied on for that mystical, like like that paranormal mystery feel. And once they killed that Noah character, the views started dropping. People realized like, oh, Noah's like the Noah age is over. So now it's like, what's the point of like watching these? These are like new people. Like every like video, it's like this new time traveler who looks more and more fake. And a lot of people connected with my character way more than all these other characters. And like this was actually like a big thing in like the past where Apex TV was trying to figure out like, why can't we replicate Noah? Why is it only Noah is the one being popular? Like what's up with your character that doesn't match up with the other ones? And to this day, I still don't know why I was so popular. I think it may be just like a vibe I gave off. Maybe like I wasn't like so in your face about it. Uh, I might have. I also see it as like a thing was I was a YouTuber and I knew how to connect with my audience on like a friendship level, and somehow I transitioned that to like the Noah videos where I was able to like make the people think that somehow they're like my friends. It's like subconsciously.
So when you posted that video, saying that was all fake, did you give the folks or the people at Apex TV any kind of heads up, or how did they react?
I really did want to give them a heads up, but and just Apex TV, if anything right now, it's a very very small team. It's not as corporate as you think it is. It's not like some BuzzFeed where they have an office and everything. Very very small team of people. You know, I was the guy, who me and him like both worked on Apex TV from the beginning. He was just being immature and everything. I think I tried contacting him. He ignored me. He started doing these weird things. He started like spamming my phone number with these like spam calls. Like he'd like probably go on a website and like buy for like $20, where he could send me like 2 calls a day of like these prank calls or something. They were just kept spamming my phone. And it's like I like for no reason whatsoever. I think he almost like revenge for no reason. I still have the voicemails of him like sending me these like spam calls, and I know it was him 100% because like he used to do this to like older. He was kind of like petty, and he used to do this to like all the people who really were like who he had their number, who like kind of like talked bad about Apex TV later.
Yeah. So then how did this character of Noah the Time Traveler start? Did you contact Apex TV, or did they contact you, or was it more of a collaboration?
So all right. So this is why I love the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is the idea that something very small can create like the idea of like a butterfly flapping its wings can make it like a tornado. So what happened was one summer day in 2018, I went to a park bench and I wrote down my Snapchat number on a park bench because I was just messing around with my friends. I was 14 years old. Later that summer, Apex TV came by and he added that Snapchat out of pure boredom, and we started messaging. And then he said, he said like you like have a YouTube channel or something. I'm like, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Maybe we should do something someday. We meet up, we like start hanging out. I'm like, okay, let's make this like character, like this Noah character, like this time traveler character. I'll just name him like Noah, like a random name. And I'll send you like a video. Maybe we'll edit it or something. We'll post it, and we started like working on it. We posted it. And then like and then when it got like when it got uploaded, I was like, I really want this video to blow up. So I just started like sending it to the news and everything. I made like a fake account where I was like an Apex TV Gmail, and I was like sending it to like news stations like, this is a time traveler contacted us, maybe you want to report about it. I sent it to like 50 news stations that day, just to like get the word out, because it really is like a headline culture.
Yeah. 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 It's that kind of like guerrilla marketing, and you really just
Oh yeah.
took control.
Oh yeah, exactly, man. And it's like I do find the positives that I learned how, like, from this. It was almost like an internship where I learned viral marketing, and now I'm able to bring that in with my new channel. And I see it as like with this new channel I have, like my own personal, like, like blog channel that I've always wanted, like I've always wanted, this is what I've always wanted from the beginning. I never wanted to be associated as Noah all the time. So it kind of is mentally draining, because you see like you see like lots of people who like will become famous for like a meme or something. They'll hate when people bring it up, and they'll say like, I just want to be separated from this or whatever. And I feel exactly the same. Like I get people's like general curiosity for Noah, but like at some point, like I really want to like separate myself, Denis Bel, from like the Noah name, and like kind of like leave like Noah into the past. Maybe like, sometimes people can like, I'll sometimes mention it a few times, but like really, I just want to be known for being Denis Bel.
Yeah. 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 Totally. Um, can I ask about a couple of the strange things that were in your video? Specifically, I'm thinking about, where did that video of, I think there's a video of the future Las Vegas. Do you know where that came from?
The future Las Vegas. I know for like a lot of like pictures, videos, and everything, we would hire like freelance people to like make them for us, like on Fiverr and Upwork. That's literally it. And we would spend like, we'd throw like, like $400 on it, like for like some CGI artists to make it. But then, like the video would go out and make like a couple of thousand views out of ad revenue alone. And we also found better ways to monetize it. Like other news stations would like to ask if they can embed our videos into their website, and from there they would their ads, they would pay us like a small portion of that, and we would get actually like a lot of money from that too.
And so did the cash kind of dry up when you announced that this was fake?
Well, I like, as soon as I cut ties to Apex TV, I received no cash whatsoever. In fact, he was actually trying to hold $500 over my head that he owed me, because he wanted me to sign an NDA, and he said he wouldn't give it to me unless. And I said, I basically, like, I kind of burnt a bridge by saying, if you don't give me that $500, I'm gonna like post something right now. I just like you can't hold $500 over my head that I just that's my that you owe me for a video, and say like, you have to sign this NDA. And he really, really wanted me to sign the NDA. He even offered like triple, like double the money or something. He's like, I'll give you $1,000 if you just sign this NDA. Like I never wanted that, because it would essentially screw my life over, because everyone would always be like, is this no other time traveler? And I would just never make a comment. And I'm so glad I never signed the NDA. I'm so glad.
Why do you think it was so important from their perspective for you to sign this NDA?
Because I often said it like a lot. I said my goal in life is to be a famous YouTuber. This whole Noah the time traveler thing is a ticking time bomb. You can't, like, you can delay as much as you want, but eventually the truth is going to come out. Like, you can't just keep like pretending like this doesn't exist. Like, people will eventually find out it's me if I'm trying to pursue being a big YouTuber.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the time travel or any kind of prophecy kind of thing, you have that problem of you can make a number of predictions. Some of them will come true, but there is the problem of like, your losses kind of add up. You see this a lot with people who make predictions, and it seems like it would be somewhat unsustainable.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess, like, but like some of the thing that worked out for me was like, no one would pay attention to my false predictions. They paid attention to my real predictions, like the ones that came like actually like worked out. And like, oh my God, this means he's like the real thing.
I suppose maybe I'm thinking of it in the wrong way. I'm so used to people making the singular prediction. You didn't really have a singular prediction. You did the scattershot approach, where a certain number of these will be real because I'm making an educated guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did. Like a lot of people still approach me to this day that I used to talk to back then. And they're like, like you did a really good job at playing him for like your age. Like you got away with so many times you could have been like straight up exposed, whether it be like I talked to the skeptic on like on a live stream and somehow I got away without being like totally made a fool of myself. Like somehow we managed to having a Apex TV Discord without people like being able to figure out like put pieces together all together in a community and find out like that Noah's fake. Like I was able to cover my tracks pretty well, honestly.
So you've had, in this time period we're at, where fake news is like a big topic, and you were in it. Do you have any thoughts or opinions about fake news?
With all of this, it kind of like made me see like behind the scenes of the media where they literally you just send them an email, they'll post it. They get so much quotes wrong. Sometimes they just make up straight up quotes from your video. Sometimes they'll pretend like they interviewed you. They'll never have interviewed me ever, and then they'll like put out, we interviewed Noah and he said this. I'm like, I never remember interviewing you at all. Like what? Like we see all these like little like back end things like for like the media, and you're like, wow, this is just, oh my, I never knew the media was like this crazy. And it's obviously like they love the little magazine cover thing like Noah the time traveler, like crazy time traveler predicts something from 2030, and like to this day there'll be times where like very rarely will I'll be like going through Snapchat and I'll get an ad from like this like like clickbait website and it'll be like, no, the time traveler. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like staring at myself right now on an ad.
Yeah, that's got to be quite the experience. I know I've seen a number of your videos, TikTok. People have been slicing your videos up. And I'm like, oh, I know where that is. This isn't a new person. Like, I've seen this.
Yeah. And it's like, no matter how much I say, like, guys, this is not real. I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm trying to explain, like, that obviously doesn't become, that like, no one cares that much about it compared to, people like, people like liking the idea of there being like some crazy time traveler,
And you have the same motivations, in my opinion. You have the same motivations of the news media, like mainstream, like TV stations and newspapers, and the Instagram and TikTokers, right? They want engagement. And they don't necessarily care about the truth necessarily. They just know this is a good story with a good track record, and maybe people forgot about it. So I'm going to put this clip in here and claim this is new from last month.
Exactly. That's really well said. And in like I've come to the terms that like some people will continue for like forever believing that Noah is real. They'll never like stumble across my video. To this day, I still have people commenting like, oh my God, I've been following this for like 4 years. I don't know, like for like the longest time. And now I'm just figuring this out, And it's like, yeah, like what can I tell you, man? Like it's been out here for, like in the open for so long. And it's hard because like, there's Apex TV and he's like, he was trying to suppress my video. Like he striked it down and it was my video stayed down for 30 days while he was doing damage control, like that really prevented like the amount of like my video could have like done in like being spread around, You
said you don't really regret doing this, but do you have any kind of like message or any message for people that you did trick?
That's a good question. I don't think I necessarily have a question. I just say don't believe everything you see on the internet. Like when you add like a music soundtrack to like a video or something, you can easily manipulate people's emotions and make people think something's like real. Like when me the Noah the time traveler, it's like when you're watching those videos, you don't really get a sense of reality and realize like, oh wait, let me just get a reality check real quick. This is obviously like someone lying. Like this isn't true. Like let's be honest. Like the way this person's talking, the way that this person's approaching everything, like just putting the logic of my story, like just put it together, give yourself a reality check and you realize like, yeah, this is fake. Like to this day, I still have like a laser vision on what I see like on like media that's fake and what's not. And I'm like, dude, this is so obviously fake when I'll see like a time traveler video because it's like, I've done this. I know what's like what people are, it's like the typical time travel response, like, oh, the microchips, like the basic stuff. And you got to give yourself a reality check, think for a second. And it's like, yeah, this person's obviously like their stories like has more holes than like Swiss cheese,
Yeah, sounds like this experience has really like honed your BS detector. Do you have any tips for people? We do have that problem of it's not just like time travel. There's like so many things on the internet that are just BS.
But the thing is, it's so hard though. I'm trying to figure out myself, because the thing is, I've always had a admiration for paranormal stuff. That's why me and Apex TV paired so well together. I remember being 6 years old, like watching on my family computer like videos of like the Loch Ness monster, and I was like, whoa, I'd go to like my school library. I'd be like ask the librarian if we have like any like books on like the Loch Ness monster. I'll take him home, read them, like cryptid ones. Then I got into aliens, and I got super obsessed in like the idea of aliens, and I'm like, and I started like thinking like theories and stuff. Like imagine like our sun is only like the size of a white blood cell, while the like Milky Way would be like the Milky Way universe is like the size of like America. Like if you put that into like perspective, like there's so much out there. Like there's so much. And then like when you think about that, that's like what are the odds that there's like an alien space war, like just like any like a movie happening out there somewhere, just somewhere out like in the universe. Like what we like Earth is completely nothing compared to the rest of the universe. Like 0.0000. Like I don't know like how we don't even have a like a number like to say how big the universe is. Like we actually have no idea. And like it and like all this like paranormal stuff, like even I've seen a ghost before. So, it's like what am I supposed to say about like all these things coming up? I don't know what's real and what's not. Like the inner skeptic in me judges everything, but there's always that thing in me. It's like I've seen a ghost before, so like like anything could be real,
Yeah. So, you went from having, millions of viewers and having just being the talk of the town, I suppose, as they would say. What was that like when that kind of faded?
I've like a lot of people will like tell me like, oh man, you lost all your like relevancy and everything. Like, how does that feel? And I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I'm doing what I love. I'm doing my new channel. Right now I'm taking a big break. I'm gonna come back like a lot stronger. I'm gonna come back with like a way to like like do like my videos more efficiently. I'm definitely moving towards like more paranormal videos. I'm gonna be investigating like lots of things. I definitely want to move into that stuff. I caught a ghost on camera not too long ago when I was exploring I was exploring abandoned haunted military base with my friends. We caught a ghost on camera, and it's like all this cool stuff. We caught a piano key being played when we were at this Palmer House Hotel in Minnesota, and it's like, and I just really love doing this stuff, and it's so fun, and it kind of does bring back like the roots of like like the old paranormal stuff. But really, like I've always loved doing paranormal stuff, and I can't wait for like all these other videos I have planned and everything. And yeah, definitely like I have like not even a shadow of a doubt, I have way more fun doing these videos than Noah videos, even with the amount of views I get. And I do think like, if my personality as Noah was able to be a viral personality, I definitely think that it's like something I can do it again. I definitely can do it again. And I like to believe in myself and like to say that like I'm going to be one of the biggest YouTubers on this planet, and it's going to be weird seeing me become popular, go down, and then, come back even stronger. And I definitely think I will be like, I will be like, I will be very, very famous, and, I guess I'm manifesting it, putting it out there. But, ever since I was 6 years old, I've been recording YouTube videos. So it's like been my life goal.
And where can people find your new YouTube channel?
Yeah. So my new YouTube channel is Denis Bel. It's Dennis with one N and then Bell with one L, DenisBel.
And as you're making these videos, are people still bringing up the old videos?
Yeah, for sure.
Or have they moved on?
Yeah, so lots of people are still bringing up these Noah videos all the time, and I just, I'll just like sometimes I'll like it. I'll tend to ignore them. It won't matter, because the more my videos are getting like higher views and everything, I've been noticing like the comments are like going away, and it's complete. It feels so nice to post videos and just like look through the comments and see like only like videos talking about it, like they'll be talking about my friends, they'll be talking about like us, like like having fun and everything. And it's so nice not to see like, oh hey, what's up Noah, like some condescending comment. At the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me too much, because I've been there, done that. I've seen millions of people calling me stupid, like, oh, this guy's full of BS. Like you tend to get a little bit numbed out by that. Like I would always like if I ever actually got mad at a hate comment as Noah the Time Traveler, I would like try to give myself a reality check and be like, wait, I know I'm fake. Why am I mad? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's a bit like maybe a musician, they have their big hit song and everyone wants them to keep on playing the hit song, but eventually people start realizing, oh, now there's this whole other catalog of cool
I feel
stuff.
like, yeah, I definitely feel it's like that. I feel it's almost like like say it's like I always like tie it to like someone being a meme, someone making like a famous Vine video or like a famous photograph, and then they're like I want to do more than that. I want to be like, popular. Like my like one of my like biggest like examples probably would be like there's a singer called a lot of your audience might not be familiar with this, but the girl who did that "Cash Me Outside" meme, she went off to be like a famous singer, and like I could only imagine how mad she'd be if every single day everyone's like, oh my god, it's the "Cash Me Outside" girl, but instead she gets like, like, oh my god, it's Bad Baby, which is her name, and it's like that's kind of like the effect I want, where it's like I want to move on from this and I want to build my own brand where it's like someday in the future where people will be like, a little tidbit about like, Denis Bel, like a fun fact is that he was famous before, like I'm okay with that,
So we're kind of at the end of the interview. Was there any questions that I should have asked you that you kind of hoped that I would have asked?
Yeah, give me a second. This one's a good one. This is a good question. Maybe you should have asked me if I had any good stories playing Noah the Time Traveler, because throughout my whole the whole time, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. So one time I hopped into an Uber when after like recording a Noah video, we were driving back. This guy and me were talking about like the internet and like the power of like influencers and stuff. And then I was like, I was talking a lot, and he said, "Your voice sounds really familiar." I'm like, "Oh yeah, from where?" And he's like, "Have you done like Facebook videos?" I'm like, yeah, I kind of, because like the Noah videos were re-uploaded on Facebook. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I've seen like something like about you in like this creepy video. I'm like, as then like a time traveler. And he's like, yeah, exactly like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so that was like the first time I've ever been noticed. And it was by my voice, like, even though my voice is already lowered, and it's insane. And there'd be times where I would tell like people like, yeah, I'm actually this time travel on the internet, like my like friends and everything. And they're like, oh my God, like I've heard about this before. My uncle showed me this video. Or like someone would be like, I heard of this. I've watched a video about this at the bar like 2 weeks ago, and like that was like really reality check. Like, dude, these people, like, there's people out there that actually like have watched these videos, and it's unbelievable, And another time, me and ApexTV were actually walking into this like public library to film a video. Well, as we're walking, I stop him. I'm like, look at what that kid's watching. And then lo and behold, yeah, he's watching a Noah video. And we're like, oh my God. We like walked up to that kid. We started handing him like business cards. We think we gave him like a free shirt or something, like ApexTV shirt. And, we made that kid's day, but it was like unbelievable. We saw someone watching a Noah video at the library, and like, dude, like this, like the fact, like how big ApexTV got and like how big like the Noah like name got. It was incredible. And I sometimes think about it like that really was a big thing. And then now all I have to do now is do it again.
Yeah. And, and once again, it reminds me of musicians, even with ApexTV, where you were the hot thing, and you see this with music, and then the label wants to recreate that hot thing over and over again, but they can never capture that lightning in the bottle again, because there's something special about you and that time and just the way it all worked.
Yeah, and I still can't put it together. I can all I can do is like theorize why I did so well.
Yeah, but like you said, you've learned so much from this experience that you can then use in your new endeavors.
Exactly. And you'll see, like, we'll see where I end up in like 2-3 years. I definitely have really high hopes for myself, and who knows, maybe someday I might return this podcast and then you can be interviewing like Denis Bel.
Yes, totally. Yeah. And so once again, where can people subscribe to your new current
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/Denis Bel, DenisBel.
Well, thank you so much for your sharing this just amazing story with us today.
Yeah, for sure, Jason. It's nice talking to you, man.
I'm Jason Rigdon, and you have been listening to episode number 21 of the Podcast of Mystery, originally transmitted on Friday, July 9th, 2021. If you want more information about me, the show, or my guests, please visit podcastofmystery.com. Tune in next Tuesday when I will be talking with the Paranoid American about conspiracies and comics. I'll also be taking a little virtual road trip to Wisconsin to visit the Hodeg store and a new segment I'm going to call Another Roadside Attraction. If you have a guest or topic that you would like to hear on the show, please email podofmystery@gmail.com. You can also send any feedback or comments to that same address. This audio program is copyrighted by me, Jason Rigdon, and is freely available under the Creative Commons Attribution License. And don't forget to leave the Podcast of Mystery a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you for listening.